let's kick this off with test matches. Achievements category. Kohli, 22 50s. Sharma, 10. Kohli, 27 centuries. Rohit Sharma, 6. So quite a gap there that goes to Virat. 200s. Kohli, 7. So that's pretty huge there. Sharma, only the 1. So I think that clearly goes to Kohli there. Total runs, 7,240 to Virat and 2,141 to Rohit Sharma. Top scores, this is a lot closer. Kohli, 254 not out, and Rohit, 212. Now, we need to consider context here, and that these two players have played a different amount of innings. For Virat Kohli, that amount is 145, and for Rohit, that is 53. So let's consider that. But now let's check out the average performance now, not just achievements. The average strike rate for Kohli is 57.68. Rohit Sharma just edges him there at 59.26. So that goes to Rohit Sharma finally, but we know that strike rate isn't the be-all and end-all in test match, of course. The more important metric here is the average scores. Very interesting. Kohli, 53.63. Rohit Sharma, 46.54. So two very solid scores there, but Kohli's is a little bit more world-class there, and it's a fairly substantial difference there. So this category for test matches, my summary is by these numbers. Unsurprisingly, I'm sure for you, Virat Kohli has achieved more in test match cricket and has a superior average performance. Now, moving on to the big one here, because we know that these two players really excel and are really known for their ODI playing ability. So the ODI achievements category. For 50s, Kohli, 58. For Rohit Sharma, 43. For centuries, Kohli, 43. Rohit Sharma, 29. So Kohli clearly dominating there. Total runs, 11,867 for Virat. And for Rohit Sharma, 9,115. Now to top scores. Virat Kohli, 183. Rohit Sharma, 264. So Sharma really smashed it out of the park there. Literally. Now to set the scene, of course, not much difference here too, by the way. Innings. Virat Kohli has played in 239 ODIs and Rohit 217. Okay, so the average performance category. Average strike rate. Kohli, 93.25. Rohit, 88.93. Wow, okay, so I was thinking that Rohit Sharma might have the advantage there when it comes to strike rate. I just thought that Sharma might have been a little bit more aggressive. And statistically, it doesn't really seem to show up here. So that's interesting. Moving on to the big one, average scores now. For Virat, 59.34. For Sharma, 49.27. It almost seems unfair because that 59.34 from Virat is, wow, that's just huge, man. It almost seems unfair to compare because 49.27 from Rohit Sharma is a good average score for ODIs, but man, that's a gap of 10 between those two. We know how good of a player Rohit Sharma is at ODIs. And to see that kind of a gap, an average gap of 10 runs between these two, wow, that really just shows how much Virat Kohli has been dominating ODIs. So, the conclusion for ODIs is that when it comes to the achievements, there's not a huge gap, but it does go to Virat Kohli there For the average performances, it does seem quite clear that Virat dominates that area as well. Okay, let's kick things up a gear. T20s. For Virat Kohli, 50s, 24. For Sharma, 21, just behind. For centuries, Kohli 0, Rohit Sharma 4. So Rohit loses the 50s category but wins the centuries category. Total runs, 2,794 for Virat Kohli and 2,773 for Sharma. So that's very tight. Top scores though. For Kohli, 94 not out. For Rohit Sharma, 118. Sharma wins that one. Of course, to set the scene, Kohli has played in 76 T20 innings and Sharma has played a few more at 100. Now, average performance category. We know that strike rate is very important for T20s. Let's check it out. Kohli, 138.25. And for Rohit, check this, 138.72. That is very tight. Very tight indeed. So Sharma just edges Kohli's average strike rate there. Well done. Average scores though. For Virat Kohli, 50.80. For Sharma, 32.62. So quite a gap there. That goes to Kohli quite clearly in the averages. So my conclusion for T20s is that I'd have to say that it's pretty well a stalemate when it comes to the achievements. You could pick either one. But when it comes to the average performances, you'd have to go with Kohli because of the big difference in the average score. Okay, so the grand summary here is that unsurprisingly for test matches, Virat Kohli dominates Sharma there. In the ODIs, they both have great statistics, but the edge there goes to Kohli as well. And in T20s, it's very close to a stalemate, but once again, I'd have to give the edge there to Kohli. Of course, we're just going by these numbers. There are many different ways to compare players, of course. And some people might argue that numbers aren't everything. So I'd be very interested to hear your feedback and your thoughts. I know that everyone has their opinions when it comes to cricket, and that's what makes cricket so interesting and enjoyable. As always, please like, rate, subscribe, etc., etc. Thanks for coming, folks. I will see you next time. Thanks all.